Hey everyone, it's about 6 a.m. and we just woke up, crawled out of our tents, and are shooting a couple shots in the early morning sunlight. It's really nice because, as you can see in the background, you're starting to have that orange light of the sun, but you also have all this really nice soft light being cast on the scenery around us. We actually have a few people around also taking photos. I mean, this is kind of the prime time to be taking landscape photos and just general detail shots. So we're going to take a couple shots and then spend the day going around Joshua Tree and getting some other shots, and yeah, we'll talk you through what we're doing. The sun's rising off there to the east, and I think it's just about to come over the edge. And so I've been kind of setting my settings to exposed to the sky opposed to the ground so that I get the colors and so the beauty of the sky. And then the sort of the landscape is actually more of a silhouette. Just best guessing, going to come down to probably a 200 ISO. There's a lot of light coming in right now. I'm at f2.8 and I'll probably bring my shutter up to 1/500, just kind of guessing. And I'm framing a lot of space in the sky just because we have some campers and different things down below which I don't want to see in the shot, and I just kind of like seeing the lines of the hills and everything in there. So this is pretty well exposed. Maybe go a little bit darker. Another thing I'm doing is you can see where the sun's going to come up, so depending where that is, I'm kind of positioning it. Here I just did it right in the middle. You get more of the yellow whereas you get the orange colors on the sides. Come over. I kind of also want to get some shots of the landscape looking that way with this nice soft light going over there. So that's going to take, let's see, it's going to take a little more light, so bring my shutter down to 100, my ISO to 400, f-stop 2.8. That's a little bit too much light, so took my shutter up to 200, still ISO 400. Still not enough light. Let's do 160. That's looking pretty good. This is because we have some shadows and versus how bright the sky is, going to take some post editing and stuff. But yeah, sort of the basics, depending if you're looking obviously at the light, at the sun, there's going to be a lot more light. You're going to have to stop down a lot more, have a higher shutter speed. If you're looking at the landscape that the sunlight is hitting, you'll need a little bit more light, but even now, the sun is yet to rise and we still have plenty of light to be shooting, and it's really nice. There's no shadows. It's very soft and even light, but still a little bit of color from the sun. So yeah.
Hey guys, I'm here, and I've got my Fuji X-T2 with a 14mm lens, and remember the Fuji's an APS-C crop sensor, so my 14's more like a 25, 21, but yeah, I'm shooting at 200 ISO, and to shoot for me out there, I'm shooting at an f11 at 125th, and you can see I'm kind of silhouetting it quite a bit. That's a little bit more of a silhouette. You can see the gradient you get with the sky when you stop down that much, but it's a really nice sunrise, and I got a wide lens, so I'm fixed. Can't really change. If you look at the direction where the sun's sort of just hitting, you can kind of get it off the rocks a little bit, but it's really about negative space and like seeing the gradients in the sky. But yeah, it's nice. The sun's coming up real quick. For something like this, for landscapes, it's best to shoot in RAW. You're going to have the most range when you want to go back into post and editing. For the X-T2, I'm actually shooting in RAW and JPEG, mostly because I can take the JPEGs and send them to my phone immediately without converting them in the camera for social media stuff and whatnot. But RAW is going to get you the most room for landscape, and because there's such a difference in the shadows of the ground and the highlights of the sky, you'll be able to kind of adjust and bring that back down. It's looking pretty nice up there. So, good screensaver shots. So at this point, I want to still preserve the blue in the sky. I'm going to try and stop down basically as much as I can without losing too much detail. So I'm actually shooting at a 22 and a 60th. Maybe I'll go to a 250th and I'll stop up a little bit. Basically the idea is just to like preserve the sky a little bit and silhouette the horizon.
211, 250?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 800th f8 100.
Yeah,
It's close.
you go to an 8 and then you're at 800.
Yeah.
We're sort of comparing the difference in like what his ISO versus my ISO and the same settings would reach. Mine at F. So we're at ISO 100. We're at F8, and we're at 800th of a shutter. And I think mine's a little darker than Sam's actually. Yeah.
One thing that is really nice is I've been shooting photos for more like events or for different things that require me to move a little bit quicker, so I'll set my f-stop and let my shutter sort of do aperture priority. My shutter's going all over the place. I'm just getting to enjoy taking photos right now, so I'm really just like playing with different manual settings, trying different f-stops, trying different things, seeing what's going to happen, so we can look in post and see, a 2.8 versus an 11 f-stop, what that does to a landscape of the sun or of something else, getting that extra depth. It's really nice just to be able to practice and take all these photos so that later when I get to my computer, we can really go in and analyze them and see, what's going on with the different settings.
So one thing I like to do sometimes when the sun's rising is if you can find like some foreground foliage and you can drop your camera really low and you can kind of silhouette them and use them as like silhouettes against a rising sun or setting sun. And even if you open up a little bit like that, you can see some detail in there. It's pretty cool. So that's with opened up a little bit, and then here's some silhouette type shots. Just something cool to kind of play with and check out.
Generally, for most lenses, the sweet spot is at f4 to 5.6, and so that's you're gonna be crispest. At the same time, to get everything in focus, especially when doing wider, a lot of people just stop down quite a bit, just to guarantee everything's kind of clear and crisp. I actually have a photo I took that we can pull up. The foreground is just a little bit soft and the background's perfectly clear, and when I printed it, I thought it was going to be this amazing photo, but because I wasn't close focused, it just doesn't hold up that crispness. Had I been at a higher f-stop, more would have been in focus and it probably would have looked a little bit better. So generally I think stopping down a little bit on your f-stop helps. At the same time, everyone has their own way of doing it, so there's not one way necessarily. But yeah, typically people like to stop down a little bit more. I was shooting wide open just now at f2.8, and then Will was talking about getting better gradients with a higher f-stop, so then I tried that and it did actually help quite a bit. So yeah, still learning.